Great. Well, thank you everybody for joining us this afternoon on our final mindfulness and meditation session of 2021. I'm Mindy Buchanan. I'm the Director of Patient Programs here at Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research. It's my pleasure to say hello to you today. I also want to thank our sponsor, Mallinckrodt Pharmaceuticals, for their support of this series throughout the year. So thank you to Mallinckrodt. And it's now my pleasure to introduce you to Susan Diagocino, who is a patient advocate and patient navigator with FSR. And she's also a mindfulness meditation coach and a nurse for, gosh, how long was it, Susan? Over 30 years.
35 years, yeah.
35 years. And she's with us today to do a mindfulness meditation session on creating resilience through the holidays. So Susan, I will hand it off to you and thank you so much.
Thank you, Mindy. And again, thank you, FSR and Mallinckrodt, for this opportunity to present this mindfulness and meditation series we've had throughout the year. It's really been a lot of fun. Obviously met a lot of great people here, and hopefully, helped a few people get through some bumps through the year. We certainly have had a bumpy years, to say the least. So today we're going to talk about resilience during the holidays. And this is a really, really nice topic to talk about because obviously all of us are feeling the stress of the holidays. And I hope some of you have gone through some of the series of the videos where we talk a lot about stress, the physical, the psychological effects of stress and what it can do to the body, especially when you're dealing with a chronic illness. I mean, stress can affect anybody negatively. And then if you compound that with a chronic illness and an unknown kind of illness, really, sarcoidosis, we have like a double or even triple whammy there. So today we're going to talk a little bit about resilience during the holidays. What is resilience? Some steps to strengthen our resilience, hopefully, in dealing with the holiday, and hopefully, using that resilience to cultivate some joy in our lives. So if I could get everybody to just maybe go ahead and settle in. We always try to start with a little short, just kind of a pause and breathe exercise at the very beginning to settle ourselves in and have the intention of being here for the next hour or so. So everybody could, maybe grab a glass of water if they'd like, get comfortable in their seats. Hopefully you're in a quiet area of your house where you won't be interrupted. And kind of start getting comfortable in your chairs, finding a comfortable seating position, feet on the ground, maybe hands on your lap. And let's begin with just a quick pause and feeling our intention to be here, and start with just a simple breathing exercises. I read a really interesting article this week. I mean, I kind of known this, but I reread it. Something called the 4-7-8 breath. And it's something I think for those of us with pulmonary sarcoidosis, really in the future, you might want to think about this and practice this breath, meditation. It could be done, anytime during the day. It doesn't have to be a full meditation sitting down for 15 minutes or anything like that. It's called the 4-7-8. So it's, inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, exhale for 8. So it's called the 4-7-8. So if you want to try that now, it does take some practice. Not everybody can, hold for 7 seconds and exhale for 8. That part takes some practice, but we'll go ahead and do a little bit of that right now. We'll start with just some normal breathing. If feet on the ground, like I said, hands on your lap, and let's just settle in and get comfortable in our chairs. And just kind of just bring breath awareness to your mind, inhaling in and exhaling out. Just focus in on the breath and bringing awareness to the breath. And we do that. We bring awareness to our breath because it brings us into present moment, brings us into awareness of what we're doing right at this moment, trying to refocus ourselves and just bring stillness to the body and focus in our breath. So if you want to just go ahead, we'll try this 4-7-8 practice. So go ahead and inhale in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably not as easy as it sounds. 4-7-8. And the really interesting thing with the 4-7-8 practice is that there have actually been studies that show that it does increase lung capacity. And for people with COPD, specifically, the studies were done, and a lot of great improvements seen in PFTs and in lung capacity. So I really like this from a scientific point of view, the 4-7-8 practice, because you can just, be walking around and say, oh, I'm going to do a breath awareness practice, and it serves many purposes right there. It's a stress reducer for that moment. It's also helping you practice and learning how to expand, contract, and exhale on the breath. So that's a nice little practice that I think for those of us with pulmonary sarcoidosis is worth trying in our daily lives. So let's just take a moment and take 3 deep breath inhales and exhales. And just breathe normally. Again, as in all meditations, if any thoughts or come up, just come back to the breath. Bring your awareness to the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so that's our little drop-in pause 4-7-8 session, kind of all in one. So today we're going to talk a little bit about resilience during the holidays. Obviously, I think this is something we all cope with every holiday, but we're super compounded this year, not only with resilience because of the stress of the holidays, we're compounded with this COVID situation, which has been a long time now, moving into 3 years, this new variant, every time we feel like we can take a deep breath, literally something new happens. And then also living with a chronic illness. So some of us are dealing with a lot: family, holidays, illness, maybe newly diagnosed, maybe diagnosed with new issues. And then, we're really tapping into that resilience gene. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. I mean, for me, the last couple of weeks, I feel like I've really had to tap into it. I had some revision on an eye surgery a few weeks ago. That's how my sarcoid started, and with an ocular sarcoid and a tumor. They had to go back in, and I had orbital surgery, which is very scary prospect, but everything turned out okay. I had little post-op complications, but they had to, remove some scar tissue because that was really affecting my vision. And then the last couple of weeks, my knee has really been acting up. I'm having a series of injections done. Just had the second today, and just dealing with health issues that are sort of chronic with sarcoidosis. And then the family issues, the holiday issues, the resilience, the traffic. I mean, this morning a half-hour drive to the university took me almost 2 hours because of a car accident, and I was using every tool in the toolbox there. Deep breaths in the car, and amazingly enough, when I got to the university to have my procedure, my blood pressure was normal, which kind of surprised me. So that was nice. So I got this definition just this morning about resilience, and I should have, but I didn't write down who gave this definition, but I really loved it. It said, so what is resilience? Resilience is the mental reservoir of strength that people are able to call on in times of need to carry them through. I'm going to repeat that again in quotes. Resilience is the mental reservoir of strength that people are able to call on in times of need to carry them through, end quote. I just love that mental reservoir I thought it was like, wow, it really hit me hard. But what does that really say? I mean, what does that say? I mean, basically it's telling us to stay calm under pressure. And people who are resilient do what? They do what well? They bounce back. I mean, and this is two things that mental that people that have that focus in on strengthening their resilience can do. They stay calm under pressure and they bounce back. I just love that mental reservoir. It just really was perfect. So when you tap into resilience, why would you do that? So you would tap into resilience really to be more effective at your job, you know, to be able to handle health issues, to be able to handle family issues, really to handle your daily life, because everything is so stressful for so many of us. So we need to tap into our resilience to be able to stay calm under pressure and to be able to bounce back. And when you tap into your resilience, one of the things that you're doing is you're minimizing the physical and mental effects, and generally they're negative, the negative effects of stress. So we tap into resilience to minimize those physical and mental negative effects of what stress can bring to us. And like I said before, in the series, especially the 4-part series that I did dealing with stress, I talk a lot about the physical and psychological effects of stress and what it does when we activate that that sympathetic nervous system versus our parasympathetic system. How can we tap into the parasympathetic nervous system to decrease stress and to build resilience? And that's what we really want to do. We want to have resilience to deal with daily life. So what are some ways to strengthen resilience? So obviously, meditation, and that's why we're all here. We wanted to, maybe bring mindfulness and meditation to our daily lives and help us deal with stress and to be a little more resilient. So that's obviously one way. Seeking support, whether you seek support through friendship, through Zoom meetings like this, through therapy, those are all good ways to help strengthen resilience. Also, we want to shift our mindset versus always focusing on the negative. We want to move towards focusing a little more on the positive, or just kind of. And we'll talk about a little bit about, we'll do this when we meditate today. We'll reshift our focus from negative to positive. And obviously managing stress. We want to always try to be able to manage stress. And sometimes we really, really need that resilience to help us manage stress. And we also want to use what is called the 6 pillars of health. And I talked about that in a series, utilizing our 6 pillars of health to build resilience and to actually manage stress. And what were those 6 pillars of health? Actually, they were utilizing the tools of meditation and mindfulness, managing our emotions, instead of being in anger and anxiety mode, we're able to deal with our angers and anxieties by learning how to use mindfulness or meditation as tools. We also want to have good sleep. Sleep is paramount to health. We want to be able to exercise. And so, and I promote a lot Qigong or Tai Chi because, utilizing exercise is great. If you love to exercise, aerobics, whatever, that's wonderful. But if you don't, Qigong and Tai Chi, especially Qigong, is a really good way to utilize mindfulness, meditation, and movement exercise. And essentially, you're killing 2 birds with one stone, because you can incorporate meditation into your Qigong, and FSR has a lot of good videos on Qigong in their video library. I did a little bit of Qigong in one of my mindfulness courses. So I think that's a really easy way to start exercising, especially for some of us that have joint issues or arthritis. It's really very, it doesn't have a lot of impact on the body, something that everybody can do. Another pillar of health would be obviously, like I always am talking about managing stress, and through any method that works for you. And so again, I'm going to repeat that definition of resilience, which is the mental reservoir of strength that people are able to call on in times of need to carry them through. This is something that takes time to build, takes time for us to learn how to tap into those pillars of health, to tap into ways to strengthen resilience. And mindfulness and meditation is really one way. Again, there are other ways, seeking support, reframing your thoughts, focusing on positive versus negative. We all have negative, and sometimes it's just the reframing of the thought. What can we do to move towards more positive way of life, even with all the challenges that we have in daily life with COVID, or specifically with our illness. So it's just a little talk on resilience. And I we talk about resilience when we talk about stress, no matter what. We might not use the word, but stress and resilience basically go together. When you learn to manage your stress, you are becoming more resilient. And so that's one of the great things of what we do when we talk about mindfulness and meditation. When we're able to be on a Zoom group such as this one and practice, and then take that practice forward into our daily lives, whether we're doing mindfulness, 2-3 times a day, basically stopping, doing the pause, taking the deep breaths, not getting into heated arguments, or whether we sit down for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you can, and do a practice such as what we're gonna do now. So I'd like everybody to just kind of get into a really comfortable position, and we're gonna do a practice for resilience, but also a practice for cultivating joy and cultivating kindness for the holidays. So let's everyone have a sip of water if you need to. Bring your intention to being here for the next 15 minutes or so, practicing meditation. And let's just begin with our breath. Let's take some natural breathing and just focus in on the breath, breathing in and breathing out. As in all meditations, if at any moment you feel uncomfortable, you can open your eyes, but follow along with me, my voice. Oftentimes meditation can bring emotions, anxieties, especially during the holiday. So I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. If you need to, just go ahead and open your eyes and listen to the meditation. But at some point, if you can close your eyes while you're sitting, that's also good. So just bring your attention to your breath. I'd like you to just continue with 5 breaths that you are bringing awareness to. Feel the breath as you inhale and you exhale. Feel the movement of the body, the chest rising and falling with the breath. If any thoughts should arise, just bring your attention and your awareness back to the breath as you breathe in and you breathe out. I'd like you to just pay attention to your thoughts right at this moment. Your mind might be racing with a holiday to-do list or things that need to be done, or doctor's appointments that have to be made, or what are your thoughts? Just for a quick moment, I want you to pay attention to that. Okay, so now I'd like you to come back to the breath, knowing that you're taking this time right now for yourself. And this time of just sitting in stillness and awareness is going to give you the energy to tackle that list. Come back to the breath, breathing in, breathing out. And now we're just going to concentrate on the stillness and the awareness of this moment. As you breathe in and breathe out, you begin to feel settled in your seat. Maybe you begin to feel the relaxation of your neck, your shoulders, your arms feeling lighter. You're aware of the chest rising and falling with the breath. You have an awareness of your buttocks on the chair, your legs, feet on the floor. With each breath in and out, you begin to feel lighter and more relaxed. Continue this body scan from head down to your shoulders, arms, chest, pelvis, legs, down your legs to your feet, and just begin to feel the body begin to relax and feel lighter as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out. Maybe if some of us can't really feel very relaxed, the holidays are really stressing us out, some of the things that need to be done. But I'd like you to do one thing right now. I would like you to think of a holiday memory from your past, or even maybe from your very recent, that something that has really created joy during the holiday season. This could be a joyful holiday moment from when you were young, a recent memory. And I want you to focus on the details of that moment as you try to relive it in your mind, like you're watching a movie of that memory. And as you relive that moment, that memory, you are cultivating this joy, and you're really feeling the joy of that moment. If any other thought comes into mind, I want you to come back to this moment, that moment of cultivating joy, that memory. I want you to embrace the memory. As you bring this moment, that memory, to the center of your consciousness, pay attention to your emotions, any sensations that you may feel. Maybe it's a smell, something your mom was cooking in the kitchen, an apple pie, or maybe it's just the smell of the Christmas tree, or the music, the Christmas music, or any holiday music, or the lights, the joy that you feel during this season celebrating with your family, whatever holiday you may be celebrating, the Jewish holidays, the Christmas season, the season greetings, the joy that people feel. Bring that memory to mind and just really focus and relish in it. Utilize your five senses. What does that moment feel like? Do you remember a hug, a memory, a music, a smell, a visual? Just concentrate on that joy, cultivating joy. As you breathe in and you breathe out, this is the cultivation of joy that you want to bring to this season. What is it that you can do to feel the way you did in that memory? Can you recreate something? There has to be something. Is it music? It's cooking of a pie? Calling a family member on the phone? Continue your breathing and feeling that peace, that joy as you breathe in and you breathe out. Reflect on the gifts that life has given you today. What are you grateful for in this very moment? Or in that moment of memory that you had? What were you grateful for? How can you cultivate that joy, that gratefulness right now in this holiday season? Breathing in and breathing out. Bring to mind all the comforts that you have in your life. Do you live in a comfortable home? Do you have access to water, to food, friends, pets? Think of all those special people in your life, family, friends, co-workers. Continue to cultivate that joy and gratitude in your life. I would like you to think of one thing that you are really looking forward to during this holiday season. Maybe there's more than one thing. Maybe you'd like to now think of one more thing that will bring you joy. One more thing that you can cultivate to bring joy to the holiday season for yourself. Because once you have joy for yourself, you can bring joy to others. Observe the emotions that you feel when you feel joy. Do you smile? Do you feel more relaxed? Bring those feelings of joy and gratitude to yourself so that you may bring them to others. Continue your rhythmic breathing. And at this time, I'd like you to think of yourself. And if you'd like to include others, I'd like you to say this to them silently and to yourself. Say the following phrases. May you be at peace. May you be healthy. May joy fill your life. May I bring joy to others. May I feel peace. May I be healthy. May joy fill my life. May I bring joy to others. May I feel peace. May I be healthy. May joy fill my life. May I bring joy to others. Smile at the kindness you have sent to yourself and to others. When you practice these meditations, you're working to cultivate feelings of joy, kindness, and gratitude during the holiday season. Let's spend a few moments feeling the joy of this season, feeling resilience that we can get through this, feeling joy, gratitude, kindness, first to ourselves and then to others. Breathing in the joy, kindness, gratitude to myself and to others. Breathing in joy, kindness, gratitude to myself and to others. May I feel peace. May I be healthy. May joy fill my life. May I bring joy to others. May I feel peace. May I be healthy. May joy fill my life. And may I bring joy to others. These are the gifts we have within ourselves and to give to others. Let's spend a few moments in silence reflecting on compassion, gratitude, joy, and reliance, resilience during this holiday season. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. There's no hurry. As you come to awareness and begin to open your eyes, be aware of how you feel at the moment. The relaxation, the strength, the energy you may feel, the feeling of gratitude, joy, loving kindness, resilience. Know that you can make it through this holiday with joy. So we'll go ahead and let anybody share that might want to share. I think it'd be nice if I could get everybody on video and maybe they're unmuted. So at least we could say hello and maybe just wish each other a resilient holiday season. How's everybody doing?
I'll go, Susan. We might have some shy folks in the class today.
Seems that way.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Christmas music went on. Can you believe that? Okay. It was like weird.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that, Susan, because it was really nice to feel grounded in kind of a chaotic time of the world right now, and chaotic just time with holidays and family and or not having family around. That's also really hard. And so thank you for that, because I felt really grounding and nice. So
It's resilience it's a trait that we're all able to have. It's a trait that we have to work at to have, honestly, because when you're not resilient, you activate that stress, that stress in your body, which is only going to bring all those negative effects to you. It's a word that I think we should be familiar with, and know how the tools that we can, utilize to become resilient. I mean, doesn't mean we become perfect. I mean, we're still going to have anger, we're still going to have fears, anxieties, but we tap into that tool so that we can stay calm under pressure, that we can bounce back. Even when you have an argument, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but you can then say, I'm sorry, and bounce back from the situation and not dwell in these situations that will, really bring you more negative than positive effects to you mentally and physically. And it's a challenge. during the holidays, whether you're celebrating Christmas or not. And it's like you said, Mindy, some of us are with family, some of us have lost family, friends. I mean, I've lost friends during COVID, and it's hard, but this is life. I mean, life is hard, and what we can do for ourselves is be able to bounce back so that we can, have a little joy and bring joy to others during the holidays, even if it's an effort. Sometimes it does take an effort to get up in the morning and say, you know what, I need to do something to cultivate joy. And I love bringing forward that memory of a past, in a meditation, because all of us have a great Christmas we had, or a great holiday season. I don't want to keep saying Christmas because I know everybody celebrates different holidays. It could be any holiday, and it could be a birthday. Oh, I had a great birthday when I was 35, and it always sticks in your head or something like that. So it's nice to cultivate that memory so that you're reshifting the memories. If you're thinking, oh my God, my mom died December 31st, 5 years ago. So Christmas for me is always very difficult. Because Christmas Day I was at her house and she was in hospice care. So I think of that a lot of Christmases, and I have to try to reshift it and say, oh, when was, not 5 years ago, but maybe 6 years ago, where she was still good. And, we had a great Christmas, and, my brothers, sisters, and everybody. So it's that reshifting and reframing your thoughts that you have to do almost constantly. Before we had sarcoid, before I had to have this knee thing, or before I had to have that. And knowing that, you begin to realize that there were a lot of times in your life that you've had to do that. And there may be many more coming forward, but there's always joy. It's always there. We need to seek it and reframe our minds so that we have even moments of joy, if we can bring them into our day. So I so hope those are some of the thoughts that I've brought forward, and hope some of you were able to cultivate some joy in this meditation. And of course, I wish everybody joy and kindness and happiness through the holiday season. And before we know it, it'll be 2022, and it's a new year. And we'll be working on some of these same things next year, believe it or not. And that's just the way it is. We have to continue to work at this, and probably our whole lives. I see a message coming in from Rebecca. Um, thank you. I'm glad that it was able to help you, and just use those little moments of your day where you don't have to sit down for 15 minutes. At any time of your day, you can cultivate joy with a memory, with a thought, with a breath. Yeah, you're right, Delph. It takes resilience under normal circumstances, let alone everything else. So that's a great comment. Resilience is a tool that we can all, fine tune and get better at for the rest of our lives, to get us through some of these times. So it's been a joy for me to spend this year with FSR doing these mindfulness courses, and I'm always so glad when people are here, but I know a lot of people listen to them later on, and I'm happy about that too. So that's great. We have a lot of courses on mindfulness and meditation in the video library now, along with amazing educational courses. I recently went to one that was done, I think it was a month ago, on grief during the holidays. And I'll tell you that it was really hard, but it was really powerful. And it was really good for me, because I was already feeling that grief. It was perfect. It was like a month ago. You start getting ready. Oh, the holidays are coming. My mom died, this, that, or whatever is going on. And it really helped me. And I actually used some of the tools they talked about today when I was talking about reframing your thoughts during meditation. So FSR has some great tools for everybody. We just got to take the time to get on the page and see what fits for you.
Wow, thank you so much, Susan, and thank you to everyone and your comments. It's just great to see the impact this series has made for folks this year. And we will see Susan again next year, so don't worry about that. Susan will be back.
Thank you, Wendy. I was worried, but thank you.
Yeah, so thank you all so much for coming. And Susan, as always, thank you so very much for these sessions this year and doing this with us every single month. Again, as mentioned, these are all on our YouTube. You can get all of them. They generally come out in the email when I send the video out to you guys, so you should get them there. You can also just go to FSR's YouTube channel and we have it on a playlist as well.
I'd just like to take one moment, Mindy, and to thank you. I mean, Mindy puts all these amazing, not only this one, but so many other programs together. And she works from overseas a lot, and then she's here in the States too. So she, I'm certainly grateful for you, Mindy, and thanks. You really put it together where it's seamless, but I know it's not. I mean, so I know it's a technology challenge, and you put out the emails timely, and you really, I mean, when I get those emails, I'm so motivated when I read them. I go, wow, this is great stuff. And they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter, but I know LinkedIn, and I mean, there's just so much social media I can take. I used to be on Instagram. I got off of there too. So now I just kind of just stick to Facebook, and I know a lot of us go on these blogs on Facebook, and I was on one last week, and I tell you, some of them are so distressful. I mean, so I challenge all of us really to, if there are people out there and you see them on Facebook, on sarcoid groups, and they don't have an idea where to turn. And I'm constantly telling people to go to the FSR page, stopsarcoidosis.org. And then I have actually got messages from people that say, oh my God, I didn't even know this existed. Thank you. I'm so happy. I mean, just to give me 1 minute to tell you this story, because it really broke my heart this week that I actually sent Mary, who's the CEO of FSR, a screenshot of this, because I almost cried when I read this. This young girl gets on one of the blogs, and she said, I was just diagnosed with cardiac sarcoidosis, and I have a 17-month-old baby, and he told me I wouldn't live 2 or 3 years. I almost dropped dead, basically. It was so horrifying to me that I got on there and I messaged her, which is something I don't normally do. I'll just tell people, go on Stop Sarcoidosis, there's some great resources. But I said to her, listen, one, probably change your physician, but two, go to FSR, get attached to a patient navigator, email me if you have to. But, I don't know your full story, but, you have a 17-month-old baby, you have a lot to live for. She seemed really like, yeah, I want to get educated. And so, this is not something I planned to do that day. And I think all of us, have this challenge to help others, with a rare disease. If I've had it now 5 years, I feel a little bit educated about it now. So I feel like I can help others. So, I mean, if you're feeling that, know that you can help others. And that's always one way to bring joy and gratitude and everything else, when resilience, when you feel like, wow, I'm not going to have probably follow up with this girl. I'm hoping that she'll just do what needs to be done. But I feel like, I stepped in, did the right thing. And any of us can do that. We could, whether people take the ball and run with it or not, well, that's up to them. But at least you've done your part. And if they get to the web page, which I think the majority probably do, they're gonna find endless amounts of assistance and help there. So I think, Mindy, thank you, and obviously your team and everybody at FSR for all that you do. I know it was a phenomenal year, and I'm so happy for everything that's going on, because I think, we're advancing in sarcoidosis by leaps and bounds within even a year. And it makes me happy, that's for sure. So thank you again, Mindy.
Oh yeah, Susan, it's my pleasure. Thank you to all of you as well. It's my, total pleasure to work at FSR and to work with all of you, and especially work with you, Susan, on these webinars and as a patient navigator as well. So so thank you so much to everybody, and thank you for this session, and we will see you in the new year. There's still more webinars coming up before the end of the year. I think there's another one on Thursday. So hopefully we'll see some of you folks there, and otherwise we'll see you after the end of the year.
Minnie, just a quick thing, because I see people posting on the chat that they want to talk or anything like that. I mean, maybe that's something we want to, I don't know if that's something that you're able to do, because I'm glad to talk to anybody that's attended the webinars. So if you want to put my email, I don't care if people email me.
I will put your
Doesn't-
email. I have put the email in past emails,
Okay.
but I'll go ahead and add it to this one as well since it was mentioned.
Yes, that's great. And
Yeah, of course.
thank you again, Minnie, and happy holidays to everybody. And see you in the new year.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Okay, bye-bye now.